Hello friends, welcome to my channel. This is Charan. In this video tutorial, I will explain in Django web application how to create a new sign-up registration form in db.sqlite3 database. And after reload the browser, now let's check the final output. The username I'm adding first Raju Raj. The password is Raj. First, I want to check the validation. If the passwords are not matching, I'm giving some random wrong password in this password confirmation. Click create user. See here we got the message the passwords are not matching. So now let's add again the Raju, Raj and Raj. The password is both passwords are correct. And I click create user. See here the user Raju is saved successfully. Let's check in our database. See here we got the Raju details is added. Now when I try to add the same username Raju, this is the Raju I'm adding, and the password also Raju and Raju. So when I try to create this Raju username, create user, see here the user Raju is already exists. If you are a first time visitor to my channel, please subscribe to get the latest updates. Before creating a new Django web application, first we'll create a new folder in this local disk D drive. Right click the mouse, select new and then select folder, and the folder name is new signup form. Enter. Let's browse this folder. Right now this folder is totally empty. Now let's create a new Django web application in this folder. I'm using Visual Studio Code to create a Django web application. First, we'll add the folder which we have created in the local disk D drive. Go to File and select Open Folder. The folder name is the new signup form. Select that one and click button Select Folder. And here the new signup form folder is added to our Visual Studio Explorer panel. At the right side we got the welcome page. Let's close this welcome page. Now let's create a new Django web application in this folder. Go to View and select Terminal. And here we got our terminal, which is nothing but a command prompt. If you notice the path in this command prompt, the new signup form, which is the folder name, and we have created this folder in this D drive. Now let's create a Django web application. Django admin start project, and the project name is a signup form user. Enter. The sign form user is my application name, and here our application is created successfully in this folder. Let me expand this application. In this application there is one subfolder called application name sign form user. Below that we got one manage.py Python file. Let me expand this subfolder also. In this subfolder there is some Python files, settings.py, urls.py. All these Python files and folders has been created automatically when I create this project sign form user. Now before creating the sign up form application, first we'll check this application is working properly or not on the browser. Before that, we need to add this our application name to the project, to the path cd sign form user. Enter. After that, now let's run the server. Python manage.py run server. Enter. And here we got a message. After we run the server, we don't have any issues, and below that there is some warnings here, 15 unapplied migrations. Don't worry about these migrations, just will browse our web server. Control plus mouse click. And here we got the output of our application. The default page is a Django page. The install worked successfully. So our application is working successfully. Now the next step, to create a sign up form, we need the admin details. So in the browser, /admin, enter. And once we visit the admin page, notice we got prompt with the username and password. But we don't have any username and password to log into the administration panel. So for that we require one super user username. Again switch back to the coding part, Control C, exit from the server. Now let's create create a super user. For that, Python manage.py, create super user is a single word, enter. And here we got some warnings here. The reason we need to extend our migrations. See here, the 15 migrations we need to apply. So first let's add the migration part. Python manage.py migrate, enter. So once I applied the necessary migrants to my project, now let's create a new super user. Create super user to create super user, single word, click enter. And it prompts with the username. Here the username I'm adding Charan, enter. The email ID ch@gmail.com, enter. And the password is prompting. Just for the demo purpose I'm adding 1234 and 1234, enter. And notice here that I got some small warnings here. This password is too short. It must contain at least 8 characters. Just for the demo purpose, I have added very big password. So I want to bypass this validation. Click while, enter. And super user created successfully. Now let's log in with the super user details. Before that, we need to run the server. See, after we run the server, we don't have any issues, and also we don't have any the migrants warning here. Below that, this is our web server link. So we already opened here. So let's log in with our credentials. The super user name is Charan and the password is 1234, enter. And here we log out successfully with our Charan details. See the users here. Let's browse the users folder. Now in this users folder contain one username, which is a Charan. It's a green tick mark, it's showing statuses, which means it's an admin panel, super user. The email ID I have entered the ch@gmail.com. Now my next step is I will create one sign up form to enter the user details, the new user details into this users table in Django application. So again switch back to the coding part. Control C to exit the server. Now let's create a new templates folder for our application. I'll click the project name, click new folder. The folder name is a templates, enter. And here we got the templates folder. And now in this templates folder contains our HTML pages. Let's right click the mouse, click new file. And the file name I'm adding signup.html, enter. And here we got our signup.html page. Now before adding the HTML code, we require open settings.py. In the settings.py, the first most important step is we need to install our application name. Our application name is signform users. In the install_apps, between single quotes, I'm adding signform user. Let's end with the single quote. After that, In the template section, notice the directories here. I want to join the templates folder with the base directory. So let's add that one. os.path.join method. The join method takes two parameters. The first one is the base directories, comma, and I'm adding the templates folder name. This is the folder name, templates folder I have added here. Now let's save this file. Open, save all. After saving the file, now the next one, we need to add the views page to write the coding part to save our new user registration details. So right click the subfolder of the project, click new file. The file name is a views.py, enter, and here we got our views.py page. Now in this views.py page contains a logic to insert the records or some validations. So before that, we need to import the necessary classes from Django.shortcuts import render class. The render class is used when we want to render our HTML pages on the browsers. We require this render class. Next, from Django.contrib.authentication or .forms import user creation form. So this user creation form will add the design part of the user. When I import this user creation form from this forms class, this user creation form, it will create the designing part of the sign up details. So just I will show you that thing. First let's create a function, assign new user, request, colon, and this function return render. I want to render requires the page. The page name is, the template name is a signup.html. This template name I want to browse on the browser, comma. Now I want to display the sign up registration form details like username and passwords. So for that, between curly brackets, double colon, form, colon, again single quotes. In this one also makes single quotes, yeah. Form single quotes, colon. I am adding this user creation form. That's it. Now let's save this file, save all. Now the next step is we need to configure our urls.py. Open that one. Let's import the views page, forms.import views. Then in the URL patterns, let's add the new URL, colon, single quotes, views dot, and I'm adding my function name. Sign new user. Copy this one and paste it. That's it. Let's save this file. Save all. Now let's run the server. Oops, here we got this is not URL, this is path. Let's save this file. Save all. Now after that, open signup.html. We need to display the form details, the username, passwords, and the button control. So that one we are getting from this form keyword. Doc type and close the HTML tag. Inside the HTML, I am adding the header section. In the header section, I am adding the title tag. The title is new sign up form. After that, after the header section, I am adding the body tags. Inside the body tags, I am adding center tag. The center tags, I am adding the headers. How to create new user form h3 tag, Django, Python, db.sqlite3, db.sqlite3. Then let's add the horizontal line. Now after the horizontal line, I want to display the form elements, so I am adding the form. This form I am adding here. So let's save this file, save all. We'll check the output, Ctrl C. Now let's run the server. See, after run the server, I don't have any issues. And below is our web server link. Ctrl plus mouse click to browse this application. And here we got the sign up form, the registration page, which contains a username, password and confirm password. So let's make some designing part for the sign up form. Switch back again to the coding part. After the horizontal line, I am adding the form tag. Inside this form tag, I am adding this form. Let's add the table element, table. Let's close this table and paste here. And the table border I want to add is equals to 1. That's it. Let's save this file. Save all. We'll check the new output. I'm reloading the sign up form. And here we got the sign up form details, the username, password and password confirmation is inside our HTML table element. Now we require one button, submit button control. Again switch back to the HTML page. After the table I am adding the input type is equals to submit. I want to submit the form, the value of the button control, create user is a button control name. That's it, we have done the designing part. So let's save again. We'll check the button control is added or not. I'm reloading the browser. So here we got the create user button control. Now my next part is what are the new user details I want to save here in this users database table. So let's start the coding part. Again switch back to the views.py. The user creation form is for the designing the sign up form. Now we need to insert the users for that form. Let's import the new class django.contrib.authentication app.models import user. In the Django application, in this function, if request dot method double equals to, I am posting the data. So what values we are posting? The username and password details I want to save in this database. So right click the mouse, view page source. If you notice here in the view source, the input type for the username, the name property is the username. For the password, name is equals to password 1 and confirm password is name is equals to password 2. We require this attribute values of this name. So again, first let's check the condition. If the password 1 and the confirm password 2 both are same, then only I want to save the user details in the database. So again, if request dot post dot get method, in the get method I am adding the password name attribute. The first one is the password 1. Remember, we need to add the name attribute value, which is the password 1 double equals to request dot post dot get method, again single quotes, I am adding the second password value, password 2, enter here. So once the password 1 and password 2 both are same, I want to save those records. So those records, let's define the value. Save user is an object, request dot post dot, not the request dot post here, save user is equals to this user class dot objects dot create underscore user method. Now in this create user method, I am adding the first one is a username. I want to insert request dot post dot get method between single quotes. The username details I am getting from this name attribute, username, comma, password is equals to the request dot post dot get, between single quotes I am adding the password 1. So I want to save the username and password details. Save user is an object dot, I am saving the details with the save method. So once the records are saved, I want to display the message. So for that, return render the form creation form, comma, between single quotes, info colon, again between single quotes I am adding the user plus plus, between plus plus I am the username I am getting from this get method is saved successfully. And here what I am doing is the first if condition I am adding the else part, now the second condition, if the username, if the password 1 and password 2 is not matching, I want to display the error message. So here I am adding the else part for this second if condition, else, instead of writing this part, just copy this thing and paste here. Return, just add this error, the passwords are not matching, the passwords are not matching. And the next condition is if the user is already exists, I want to display the message the username is already exists in our database. So for that, let's add the try block, try This if condition try, here is exception except integrity error colon. Let's add this error message, copy this one, paste here. The error messages, let's add this one, copy this one. The user is already exists. So make sure all the parentheses are correct or not. That's it. We have done the complete coding part in this views page. Now to display these error messages, again switch back to the signup.html. After the button control, I'm adding the h1 tag. In the h1 tag, I'm adding the style. Style is equals to color. The font I want to display the error message in the red color, red, and that error message between double curly brackets in the views, copy this error and paste here. If the user is saved successfully, again h1 style color colon green, between double curly brackets I am adding this info. That's it. Now the most simple, that's it. Now here in the form tag, when we are posting the data, we need to add the method is equals to post, and in Django applications, when we want to, and the most important step when we are posting the data in Django web application, we need to add between curly brackets percentage csrf underscore token. So this csrf underscore token, it protects our data from the hackers. So make sure when you are posting the data, add this line. If you don't add, you will get an error. That's it. We have done the complete coding part. Let's save this file, save all. Now we have to run our application fast. Control C, come out. Oops, here we got accept an indent block. It's line number 10 in the views page. Let's check that one. The try. See here the cursor is blinking. The line starts from there. And this one also. That's it. Let's save this file. See, now after I save this file, we don't have any issues. Go to sign up from, enter. And after reload the browser, now let's check the final output. The username, I'm adding first Raju, Raj, the password is Raj. First, I want to check the validation. If the passwords are not matching, I'm giving some random wrong password in this password confirmation. Click create user. See here we got the message the passwords are not matching. So now let's add again the Raju, Raj and Raj. The password is, the both passwords are correct. And I click create user. See here the user Raju is saved successfully. Let's check in our database. See here we got the Raju details is added. Now when I try to add the same username Raju, Raju, this is the Raju I'm adding, and the password also Raju, Raju and Raju. So when I try to create this Raju username, create user, oh, see here the name integrity error is not defined. So let's fix that one. This integrity error, we need to add the class from Django.db import integrity error. Let's save this file, save all. Now I'm reloading the browser. Raju, click create user. See here the user Raju is already exists.